morning, my dear students of class 10. Today, this morning, I have taken a very important topic from the lesson called Factors of Production. This is lesson number 4, and the topic that I have taken for this class is Characteristics of Land. It is point number 4.3.2. Page number may not be suitable, so I am giving you the point number 4.3.2, and this is characteristics of land. So in the previous classes, when we started this lesson, what we learned was the definition of the factors of production, and there we learned that all those commodities or all those things which we use to produce a commodity is called factors of production. Now we have come to know that there are 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital and entrepreneur. In this connection, first we shall begin with land. In the previous class we discussed about the definition of land, and what we came to know is land refers not only to the surface area, but land refers to what is on it and below it, above it and below it. That is that is the definition of land, and that is the concept of the land. Now let us learn today about the characteristics of land. In short, what I can say about the characteristics of land is this: that the first is the relatively fixed supply. That means the land is made by nature, and the availability of the land depends upon what the nature has given to us. On the basis of what we require and how much we require, we can never extend nor can we decrease it. So the supply of land is fixed. That's the reason why any commodity in economics whose supply is fixed or which is limited is scarce, and all those commodities which are scarce, they demand high price. So you must have seen the struggle, the fight taking place for land. It is because of the scarcity, and scarcity man has created. Man has created because the supply is fixed, whereas the demand for the land is continuously increasing. Anyway, relatively fixed supply, the supply can neither be increased nor can it be decreased. Only the change in the form can take place. But as far as the supply is concerned, the supply has already been given to us by nature, and it can neither be increased or decreased. In this connection, what I would like to say is, in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the bombs were dropped. Okay, the land was destroyed. Land was destroyed in the sense that the structure, the formation, the composition of the land was changed as such, but the land was, in real economic sense, was not destroyed. You can neither create land nor can you destroy land. Whatever has the nature given us, we have to satisfy ourselves with that. So that is a relatively fixed supply. So land is relatively fixed in supply. The next is free gift of nature. Free gift of nature means land is a gift to human being. We can neither buy land nor can we sell land from and to the original supplier, because the original supplier for the land is nature. The nature has supplied, the nature has created. We cannot buy the land from nature, nor can we sell it to the nature. In between man and man, the transaction takes place, but that is only the earthly transaction, but the real transaction does not take place with the nature. So it is a free gift of nature. We can neither buy nor can sell it from the real owner or the constructor or the producer, who is the nature. Next is immobility. Immobility means ability to move from one place to another. That's a mobile. Okay, so when you can move from one place to another, you are said to be mobile. But if you cannot move, then that is immobile. Land has these characteristics of immobility because land cannot move from one place to another place. Land is fixed in a given place, and a given place means a land which is situated or which is located, which has been constructed or made by the nature for that place, it is itself remain there. Land can never be land cannot move from one place to another. That is a immobility. Next is no control on location of land. We cannot change the location of the man. We have no control over the location of the man. So for that reason, we have to change ourselves. We cannot change the land according to our requirement, but we have to change ourselves according to what kind of land and where it is or what it is suitable for. So that is called that is no control on location of land. No control on location of land. So if a land is situated on a high altitude, then we have to plan what is that land suitable for. We cannot bring the land or change the land. Okay, we have no control over the location of the land. Some of the lands are suitable on the bay, some are on the hill, some are in the plain, some are near the river. Okay, we have to plan about the land and what it is suitable for. We have to decide. We cannot change the location of the land. Next is the heterogeneity. Heterogeneity means the land differs. No two land is identical. The land differs. Like the land which is situated in the mountain is different from the land of the plains, or the land which is on the side of a river or sea may be different from the one that is in the arid region. Okay, so heterogeneity. Also the land differs in their composition, the texture, so many parameters are there on the basis of which never are two different lands identical. So that concept of the land is called heterogeneity. The next is multiple use. Land is used for so many purposes. Like you can construct a house on it, you can construct a building. Okay, you can have it for agriculture or for forestry, fishing, mining, anything, or for construction of the road. So many purposes land can be used. That concept of the land or that characteristics of the land is the multiple use of the land. And the last characteristics of the land is the passive factor. Passive factor means left on its own, the land has cannot produce anything. Left on its own, the land cannot produce anything. There must be the interference of the human being. Only then the land would be able to produce anything. Like if a land is left barren, nothing productive will it grow. We have to go, human being has to go, and human being has to work on it. Only then land will become fertile, or land would be in a state to produce something. So that's a passive factor. Passive factor means left on its own, the land is unable to produce anything. So in this connection, I must say you, land is passive factor, but the labor and entrepreneur is active factor. Land and capital is passive factor, labor and entrepreneur is active factor. Labor and entrepreneur, active factor, land and capital, passive factor. Immobility in the connection, land is immobile, labor is mobile, capital partly mobile and immobile, and entrepreneur is highly mobile. So these are some of the characteristics of the land. For the time being, you just understand this and take some of the questions from the exercises, and you can start answering the short type and the essay type which this particular topic covers. So thank you and have a great day.